This is the Canadian Taxpayers Podcast. We're dedicated to lower taxes, less waste, and more accountable government. I'm Todd McKay. I've got Kevin Lacey here. He's our Alberta director. Kevin Lacey is he is stirring the pot in Ottawa, that's actually our Alberta's director's second job, is stirring the pot in Ottawa, I would say, on any given day. But he just put up some billboards right outside the Prime Minister's office, right on Spark Street in Ottawa. You can see Parliament Hill and Peace Tower right from these sidewalk billboards. You know, the ones kind of like best shelters. Here's what the billboards say. I'm going to quote. The RCMP union says the federal gun buyback, quote, does not address criminal activity, illegal firearms proliferation, gun crime, or the criminal use of firearms. It's right there in black and white. Can't get a sandwich if you're leaving the Prime Minister's office without seeing this. So, Kevin, thanks for chatting. What are you doing? Why are you putting up billboards in Ottawa with this stuff?
Well, those guys in Ottawa, they often don't know about what the world looks like outside of it. So really the goal of the billboards is to try to bring a little bit of Canada back to Ottawa so they understand what's really going on in this country. And the billboards are direct, and they're right outside the Prime Minister's office. You can't kind of miss them if you're out getting a coffee or sandwich. Because we want to take the message to Ottawa that this gun buyback program is a waste of money, that it's not good policy, and it's not going to make anyone safer. And the best way to do that is to get in the front of all these decision makers to ensure that they know just how bad a policy this is.
Yeah, this is really bubble bursting is what it is. It's easy for politicians to create an environment where people only tell them what they want to hear. They can have any report say what they needed to say. But they can't, they can't ignore this message. It's right in front of them. And it is coming right from the RCMP union. Let's get into the policy just a little bit. Why won't this gun buyback actually makes people safer?
Well, you made a great point, because you can take it from us that this gun buyback is not good policy, or that from us that it's not going to make anyone safer. But the very people who are supposed to be enforcing these laws are saying that this isn't going to work. So if they're saying it's not going to work, that should tell us something. And the reason why it isn't going to work is because if you're a criminal with your firearm, you're not going to show up to the police detachment with your firearm in hand to hand it over to them voluntarily. It doesn't matter how much money you offer them to do it. You think that you can buy guns for more than the drug trade can pay these guys? There's no way. It's the whole thing is silly. The government knows that it's silly, and it's not really about what they say it's about. What it's really about is trying to get those people who are legally entitled to own those firearms, who also use their firearms responsibly by following all the rules. It's designed to get them the guns out of their hands. And that's really what the government is trying to do.
Well, and I think so. There's definitely that side of it. I actually see the other side of it too. There are people who they're worried about guns. They're worried about gun crime in their community. The government's telling them, don't worry, this will make you safer. But they're selling them smoke. It's not going to make them safer. It's going to cost them a lot of money. But those illegal guns still come in, and spending money taking them from licensed gun owners won't make anybody safer. We've got to put the money where it actually could help, which brings us to that price tag. What kind of price tag are we looking at on this policy?
Well, remember the old gun registry, right?
I do.
Said, it's just going to cost a little bit of money.
Next just a couple $1 million
dollars later.
Yeah.
The money's gone. The gun registry doesn't exist, and everybody's all the money that was put in by the hardworking taxpayers is flushed down the toilet. And this has got the same trajectory happening. So the Liberals initially told everybody that it was going to cost $200 million. Then the parliamentary budget officer said, no, not 200, not 400, not 600. They said $700 million. And now that's just the base amount. I mean, it can go much higher than that. And then already, before we've even done anything, we've already spent $9 million on administration of this thing for a buyback program that doesn't even exist. So if we're spending this kind of money now, imagine the boondoggle that is waiting for us when this thing really gets rolling.
Yeah, one of the things that we did learn from the gun registry boondoggle is to keep an eye on it early. And I got to give a shout out to our guy, James Wood, Jimbo, we often refer to him as, our investigative reporter. Man, they can't buy Post-it notes over there on this program without Jimbo keeping track of it. We're keeping track on all of this stuff right from the start because, listen, you can bet the over-under on this. I'm going to bet the over every day on how much this is going to cost. We're going to track it all the way. All right, let's go back to the substance of the issue. The Prime Minister seems to be ignoring the RCMP, particularly the National Police Federation and other experts. They say it's not going to work. Prime Minister says, I don't care. We're rolling forward. Aaron O'Toole flip-flopped on this one too. Basically just did the old switcheroo on his own policy platform to say that these guns would remain banned. What do you say to cynics who say, you know what, we can't stop this thing anyway. Who cares? Let's just put our hand to the sand and, go to our happy place on this.
Yeah, look, this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is going to take a long time. And really what it's about is trying to bring our position to Ottawa. They just don't know what the other side is saying. The only people they hear right now are all of those who are calling for more and more restrictive measures. They're not hearing from the other side. So that's why things like these billboards are so ultimately important, and why, hundreds of supporters across Canada donated to ensure that they stay up. And this is just the start of a long campaign to try to bring about more knowledge and greater understanding of what these policies actually do. Because obviously we want to ensure that people are safe as well. And that has to go both ways.
Yeah. If they would have come up with policies to reduce gun smuggling, to do that kind of stuff, I think we probably wouldn't have this conversation. But if we're going to spend money, it's not enough to just spend it. You got to actually get something for it. So, okay, you're referring to it a little bit. What else we got cooking on this fight generally?
Well, what we're going to see is we're going to continue to work on it. If anyone listening to us haven't already, make sure to sign our petition at taxpayer.com. Go there and bring your friends and family and make sure that they sign that petition. As you mentioned, we're going to be digging up every time these guys spend money. We're going to be following it, telling you about where that money is going. And we're still working on a big court fight in order to push back on this. You'll continue to see more about that as time goes on.
Yeah, definitely not a sprint. This is going to be a marathon thing, but it's one step at a time. And it's kind of fun putting something right in the Prime Minister's face, right across from his office in Ottawa. So, all right, Kevin, thank you so much for working on this.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Scott Hennig, president of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. If you've got another minute, I'd like to ask you to think about the one person you know that would really enjoy listening to this podcast. Do us a favor and do them a favor and send them a quick note to let them know about it. At the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, we believe there is power in numbers. That's why we've worked so hard to build an army of taxpayers who are ready to push back. And we did it because people like you shared our work with that one person that they knew would really appreciate taking part. Thanks for listening. And thanks for doing your part to make Canada a better place.